Hi, hon. It's your mom, and I just wanted to talk to you a little bit. There are a few things I'd really like to say, and they have a lot to do with your self-esteem. And it I can understand uh, a lot of the self-esteem issues that you have. Um, see, when I look at you, I don't see anything negative. There's nothing about your looks that bothers me. Uh, I just plain think you're beautiful. I, uh, I, I've only really seen you in pictures so far, but the person I see in those pictures, the young woman that I see, I love very much, and and uh, I want to surround you with all the love and support I can until you feel good about yourself. I really do. You you deserve to feel good about yourself. You deserve to feel beautiful, and you are beautiful. You just I see you. Oh, especially when you made the video with all the old kid pictures. They were really great. But but the thing is, now you might not know it. You might not realize it because because I look the way I do now, and because uh, so many people, you especially, have said that I'm beautiful, and I accept that. I feel it very deeply, and I'll tell you why. Um, when I was when 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 I was in, I think, my late 40s or early 50s, I don't quite remember. I was given a bunch of my old kid pictures, some school pictures, and some, household photos and things like that. Uh, Now, you have to remember, you have to realize that um, uh, when I was growing up, uh, I was I was the weird kid. I was the school dork. I always was, and um, I I got made fun of a lot. Uh, uh, the word that um, that bullies used on me most often really was ugly. Um, I was uh, tormented about my weight. Uh, 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 People, I had crooked teeth, and I got made fun of for those. Um, and and well, it wasn't just school bullies either. It wasn't. Uh, I got I got crap from my family. Even I really did. Um, one of the things that one of the things that uh, I had to cope with, uh, not not just in my childhood or adolescence, but I got this as an adult too. And this really hurt. Uh, and what was ironic, I guess, about it is that this was said to me by so many different people. And what they said was, you would be so good looking if you just lost weight. And that's what nobody realized was that there was a subtext to it, and I didn't hear that I would be good looking. I heard the subtext, which was, but you're ugly now. And I got that, like I said, all my life. And so when I got into my 20s, and for instance, I had, the friend with benefits that I told you about, and she would tell me how good looking I was. And, people over the years would tell me that I was a good looking person. Now, in the 90s also, I was athletic in the 90s, believe it or not. I weigh over 300 pounds now, but I just, I got kind of manic about my weight when I was graduating college and wanted to, I wanted to present a better image to potential employers. So I made myself manic, and I over a couple of years I lost nearly 200 pounds, and even then, well, the best way to illustrate it is that I got down to about 235 pounds. Now that is still, supposedly, quite a bit for someone who was 6'1". But it was mostly muscle. I had exercised on. I had routines that I went through. For instance, I did every day a series of stretching and warming up exercises, and then I would work out on a punching bag for about 20 to 40 minutes, closer to 40, and I would also ride my bike. I was riding a bicycle 9 miles. This is, like I said, this is the 90s. I lived in Chicago, and I lived 9 miles away from work. Well, I didn't like taking public transportation. I wanted some control over the amount of time it took me to get to work, and I just plain love cycling. So for probably 2 or 3 years, I rode my bike 9 miles to work and back every day, well, 5 days a week, and I'm sorry, I lost my thought there for a moment. I should be more prepared, shouldn't I? But I would ride 18 miles a day, 5 days a week, no matter what the weather was. No matter what the weather was. I got to work one day when it was 5 degrees below zero, and I wore what's called a balaclava. It's a mask, and when I got there, I had the mask and 2 scarves on, and there were icicles coated on the scarves. I really had to, tear it apart. But anyway, I'm just illustrating how athletic I was, and when I went out places, something new was happening to me, and that was that women and men were scoping me out. I still remember being at Whole Foods on North Avenue one day, and this woman was scoping me in a way that I recognized. I scoped out women, and when it happened to me, I realized just how creepy that was, and it was. I mean, it was creepy, but it was funny. I would go down the aisles in the store and look behind me, and she would be peering out behind an aisle, watching me. Now I had been scoped out plenty of times prior to that, but for some reason that one woman, made me real angry, and it actually was a trigger that made me start eating again. I don't know why. But the point was that even when I was athletic and good looking, I didn't believe it. Now, what happened was, like I said, I was given a bunch of pictures of me growing up. When I was a little kid, when I was an adolescent, when I was a teenager, and what happened was, I looked at all those pictures, and I thought of how how everyone used to tell me how ugly I was, and I looked at myself as a little kid. And I said to myself, you were beautiful. You were a beautiful child. You were a beautiful child. And you were a beautiful adolescent. And you were a beautiful adult. And you didn't know it. And you were beautiful, and everyone called you ugly. And so that was what you believed, was that you were ugly. But I know I'm not. And the pain's still there, the pain is still there. The memories are still there. I know I have to be honest, and that's kind of the emotional pullback guess I understand what it's like to go your whole life thinking you're ugly. And hon, there is not one thing about your looks that I, when I see you, I see a beautiful young woman. I see a beautiful young soul. And I want to put my arms around that young woman and hold her tight and tell her how much I love her. And it's every picture I've seen of you is beautiful. I hope that you can take some of this to heart. I hope one day I can help you feel beautiful. But if you're gonna believe anyone, believe